The people of Marlborough live in one of the world's havens, blessed with plenty of sunshine, a beautiful natural environment, and internationally renowned food and wine.
We can be proud that the salmon grown here in the Marlborough Sounds is the best in the world. It's got a wonderful flavour, it's got a beautiful taste, it's laden with heart-healthy omega-3s, and it's got a stunning colour. It can be found in some of the finest restaurants in the world, and chefs absolutely rave about it.
And here at home, Kiwis can also buy it fresh from the deli counter or packaged, ready to eat and enjoy. King salmon is the only salmon species farmed in New Zealand. Not only are they the largest of the Pacific salmon, they also carry more of the good omega-3 oil than any other salmon species. King salmon has been successfully farmed in the Marlborough Sounds for over 25 years.
Marlborough's got a reputation for growing the best salmon in the world, and right here in the Sounds we've got ideal growing conditions. We've got deep water, nice clean water, good temperature profiles which maximise the salmon growth, and really good currents.
New Zealand King Salmon operates 5 salmon farms in the Sounds, each about the size of a football field. Salmon farming has proved to be a highly efficient and sustainable way to produce animal protein. The fish are cold-blooded and virtually weightless in the water, so they are very efficient at converting feed to weight.
A key part of salmon farming is to work in with the environment. What we do is we feed the fish to appetite. We've got cameras in all of the pens. When the fish are full, we shut the feeders off. The fish faeces falls to the seafloor where it's broken down by worms and microorganisms. We've got an independent science provider that comes in each year, and they sample the seafloor to make sure we're within our consent conditions. Our salmon farm stocking rates at harvest are 2% fish and 98% water. So, essentially there's a lot of water for the fish.
New Zealand King Salmon has achieved international certification for best aquaculture practices from the Global Aquaculture Alliance. This is an international and independent certification that recognises the company's substantial and ongoing efforts to maintain its environmental integrity.
That certification looks at the whole operation, right from sourcing sustainable anchovies as raw ingredients for our salmon food, right through to how we manage people in the operation. We're really lucky in New Zealand. We produce king salmon, so it's a unique species and it's really sought after by the rest of the world. Farming salmon here in New Zealand, because of its isolation and disease-free status, is a major selling point for us.
The life of a king salmon starts in a spring-fed freshwater hatchery in the South Island.
We run a classical breeding program where we select broodstock which have got the best quality traits, so we're looking for really nice colour, high oil content, high omega-3s and good fast growth rates. We select those fish and create smolts from them. Once those fish are grown for about 6 months, a year in fresh water, we transfer them into the seawater using a barge and a tanker. We empty the fish into the sea pens and they grow here for about 12 to 18 months, at which time they'll reach a sort of 3.5 to 4 kilo fish ready for harvest.
When it's harvest time, harvest crews come out to the farm on a barge which is set up especially for very humane and low-stress ways to harvest the salmon.
When we come to harvest the fish, we put a special net in each pen that we scoop the fish up in, and we gently corral them to the harvest area. The fish are then moved or transferred over to the harvest barge, and we pack them on an ice slurry for further processing. New Zealand King Salmon is the only king salmon producer that harvests 5 days a week, year round. That way we can ensure the freshest fish to our customers.
World demand for seafood is growing rapidly, which is putting increasing pressure on the ocean's wild fish stock. Aquaculture solves this problem by farming the species that people want to eat without affecting wild ocean stocks.
The demand for seafood is increasing around the world and increasing rapidly. And yet wild catch already peaked many years ago in terms of what it can supply. In fact, aquaculture now produces the equivalent of the world's total wild catch.
It is no accident that Marlborough grows the best salmon in the world. It has taken 30 years of learning, growing and sustainable development. The world is hungry for our wonderful seafood.